Hey folks, Ted from Immersion here, and I'm back with another DM's Guild review. This is the final series of the sponsored Friday DM's Guild videos, at least for the time being. And this time we're going to delve into delve being a keyword, we'll talk about it in a second here, another topic that you had suggested you wanted to see. So we're going to be talking about adventures. So this was the second to last, or I guess the last of the most voted for topics on the DM's Guild poll I made on YouTube a while back. So you suggested you wanted to see adventures. So I went and took a look at one that I've been excited to dive into for a while. And let me tell you, there's a price tag to it, which is something we'll discuss, but it is 100% worth your time. And that is Call from the Deep by JBC Parry. So here you can see right here. Now you might get a little freaked out that the price tag is $39.95, but what you're actually buying, folks, is a full level 1 to 12 campaign. This is an entire campaign that deserves to be on your shelf, similar to your copy of Descent into Avernus or other things, and it is amazing. How many best platinum sellers do we ever get to review on the DM's Guild? Almost none. How many do we get with a perfect 5-star rating for 49 reviews? Okay, that is a lot of reviews, and I don't think anything we've reviewed so far with double-digit reviews has had the full 5 stars. Also, folks, I'd like to point out that this 260-page full campaign was authored by one person. Okay? JVC Parry out there did the whole thing. The author, the writer, the layout editor, all of that, one singular person. Which is something to say because that person's vision makes it from page 1 all the way to page 270, it says here. Came out last June, because I forgot about 2020, June of 2019. And basically, yeah, it's going to take you, it's got mind flayers, it's got pirates. There is so much stuff here. And I mean, if we were to go down and scroll and look at the reviews, you can see that. But we've got tie-ins to a large variety of things. Now, I don't want to dive too much into it because I do think you should get a chance to play it if you're able to, but there are new magic items. There are new player races, a ton of new creatures. There's a bunch of options here. So I'm going to say right now, spoiler alert, right? Okay, we are going to talk a little bit about the campaign on a very high level. Obviously, you can tell it's about mind flayers because the front cover of the thing is a mind flayer. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the story on a very high level overview to give you an idea of what you're looking into. Okay? Spoiler alert is over. I'm going to roll into the spoilers now. Yeah? I guess it just is beginning. So, basically, yeah, it deals the kind of the villain or the sort of background of the campaign involves a mind flayer and an elder brain and things like that. Is a really old elder brain that remembers the time before the Gith kind of took down the mind flayers and they were all together. And this, long story short, the Nautiloid that they travel in crashes to Earth, or to Faerun anyway. And there's 9 attendants to this elder brain. They're trying to figure out how they're going to survive. And in the process of 5 of those mind flayers dying, they graft the mind flayer or the elder brain to a kraken. You heard me right, folks. They graft the elder brain, the mind flayer elder brain, to the body of a kraken. So if we scroll down, we'll actually see an image of that here in the previews. See this right here? That's it. That is a kraken with an elder brain inside it, which is also interesting because they're constantly vying for power. And the mind flayer, the 4 remaining mind flayer attendants, they all are exceptionally unique. They all have really cool abilities. One of them uses a mech suit. One of them is like a big, strong, like 2-handed greatsword wielding fighter. And it has you traveling all around the Sword Coast, the Trackless Sea, the Sea of Swords, dealing with pirates and these mind flayers and their influence. It'll take you to a variety of the locations you're aware of in the Sword Coast, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter, and so on. We'll read right here. It says, a strange vessel has crash-landed on the island of Gunderlin while the Sword Coast is being plundered by pirates. Are the two events linked? While the cities of the Sword Coast try to defend themselves from raiding buccaneers, bloodthirsty sea devils, and Piscean mutants, the characters try to join the dots and uncover what's occurring beneath the trackless sea. The adventurers must investigate the Kraken Society, take on the notorious Sea King Tentrix, and discover what lairs in the ruins of Escarly, I guess? But you can see here, right? New monsters, magic items, player options. And again, this is also JVC Parry, who, if you don't know, take a look. There is a ton of content released by JVC Parry. A variety of the encounters in the Blank series is very good. I did the Dragon Relics. I covered that in the past. The Artifacts of the Guild was a pretty good one, as well as magic items. We've got all sorts of monsters. We're part of the Monsters of the Guild. Look at all this stuff. There's a ton of content here. Great things for you to go check out. I highly recommend you do so. So, that being said, let's go over to the document. First of all, folks, bookmarks. Okay? Seems like a simple thing. Apparently not. So, we can scroll in and you can see right here what I was talking about. One story, one author, one art director, and one layout. And it's all the same person. That's just very impressive when you come to think about it. So if we go ahead and look, you're going to get a variety of stuff. We've got our background. You have your kind of broken up into 4 separate parts, right? The Crash, the Black Armada, Scouring the Seas. But if you look through here, you'll see that there's a little bit of information and things following a large section of pretty much the whole Sword Coast. This reminds me a lot of that one chapter in Storm King's Thunder where you have like little encounters and stuff all throughout the variety of the areas. So we can see a whole bunch of things, right? Baldur's Gate, there's Cloakwood, Candlekeep, the Sea of Endless Ice. We've got Gauntlegrim, Helmshold. We scroll down, Icewind Dale, Mintarn, Luskan, Lurkwood, Neverwinter Wood, Phandalin, Red Larch, the Sea of Swords, the Spine of the World Mountains. We've got Tribor, Waterdeep, Yartar. There's a bunch of things here, right? Then we can scroll down to section 4 is the Pirates and Kings. I'm sorry, it is 5 parts, my bad. Ascarly, or Ascarl is the last bit. Then you can see we have a whole section, which is not a small section, right? Almost 12 pages of random encounters. We have all of these new creatures. Now, I will tell you, not every single thing is a new creature. Some of them are reprints of creatures from other books to compile them all into one place. For example, Aldani are the lobster people from Tomb of Annihilation. They're reprinted here. You can see a bunch of different things, right? Brain Golem. We've got a Beholder Eye of the Deep. We have a Colossal Octopus, which I really like. For some reason, we have giant squids and stuff, but we have a Colossal Octopus. I like that. Ixolitl, the sort of what are they? They're sort of like a manta ray people. They are from Out of the Abyss. We have other, notable NPCs like Jarlaxle and Laurel Silverhand. And then, throughout here we have the various attendants you'll see as well for the Elder Brain, are these guys right here. And then we can see we have new magic items. Some of these, again, reprints from other books, like the Blackstaff, as in the Blackstaff's Blackstaff. Some of these are Jarlaxle's items, right? The Knave's Eye Patch, the Feather of Diatrima Summoning, Puafwees. But then you can also see the Psionic Suit. That was the mech that I was telling you about. We have a Staff of the Eel, which I like, is very similar to a Staff of the Python, but with an eel. A couple of wands. We have a whole section on different ships and crews and how to deal with that, since there is a large pirate mechanic to it. We have player handouts and then new character options in 4 new races and several character feats. Also a nice map showing the trackless sea and the Sea of Swords. Here, kind of showcasing where you're going to be. We have a kind of going over, I guess it's Dramatis Personae, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's basically just a quick rundown of everybody involved and what chapter you could find them in. The only thing I would have liked to seen here in addition would have been a pronunciation guide, like a phonetic pronunciation guide for some of these more hard to pronounce characters. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, this will take you from level 1 to 12 by the time you get the end of it. It's something good, it's something different and unique that people may have not seen. So if you're looking for a long-running campaign, it'll take a little while. This may be something good rather than trying to just replay or come up with something homebrew, or use this as a stepping off point to start your own homebrew campaign. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom of the bookmarks, we can jump to some of the random creatures, rather. So I want to show you the Colossal Octopus, because I love the art. Challenge rating 5. So nothing crazy, but a slightly stronger thing. And we have our Eye of the Deep Beholder, which is pretty cool. And then I just wanted to show off some of the Mind Flayers, right? So you can see the different art for the different Mind Flayers. It looks awesome, and I really, really like it a lot. Let's see. We've got sea cubs and sea lions. Shogoth here. A lot of really interesting, swarm of spell books, which is a pretty cool concept. We have a were shark and the stats for if you were bitten by a were shark, what would happen if you were playing a were shark lycanthrope. Again, here's the magic items. I like the Delver's armor a lot here, which is a +1 plate mail. But basically, when you go underwater, you can basically give yourself a bubblehead charm from Harry Potter, where you get your head goes into a bubble and you can breathe underwater, sort of like a diving bell or a diving suit. I like the moon bow a lot. The moon bow is essentially a short bow or a long bow with the same equivalency as basically a flame tongue. However, I'll have to call him out here. He used the exact copy paste because it says while the sword is ablaze, it deals an extra 2d6 fire damage. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the bow, and I might go out on a limb and guess it's supposed to be 2d6 radiant damage, as it's the moon bow and moonbeam uses radiant damage, but you get the general gist of it from what it is there. And then again, we have our Staff of the Eel. Like I was saying, it summons a giant lightning eel. And then we have our whole section on different crews and all these different ships, which is pretty nice. And then I wanted to showcase a couple things. There's also a really nice map of the Sword Coast showing both the Trackless Sea and the Sea of Sword and sort of the regions that you'll most likely be interacting with were you to play in this campaign. As you can see here, there is also a variety of handouts, and probably my favorite one is this cipher here. So when your players receive notes, you can give them this cipher and they can translate it out themselves. And I think that'd be a really rewarding experience as a player to uncover all of that yourself. There is also character options, which I thought was interesting. So we have merfolk, right? Your traditional mermaid style people. Nothing too crazy to write home about. Stuff that you'd kind of expect for a mermaid to have, right? The ability to breathe underwater and perception, survival, weapons associated with that. We have Sahuagin and both the Sea Devil Sahuagin, which is the traditional type that you're used to, and then Malenti, which is sort of a mutation that makes them look like a sea elf. Sea Spawn, which look like, as far as I can tell, similar to like the Davy Jones kind of pirates from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, with like barnacles and some sort of weird. It says even here Piscine anatomy. And what I also thought was cool was Aldani, the lobster folk that are found again in Chult and Tomb of Annihilation. They have a playable race here as well. Nothing too crazy though, right? They just have claws that can do some damage. And adapted to live underwater. There is also a series of feats. Unfortunately, these seem to be, they kind of are a victim of their time. For example, there is 2 firearm-based feats, and I think all of these are pretty much negated by the gunner feat that came out in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Firearms Master giving you a +1 to dexterity and proficiency with firearms, allowing you to, and then Firearms Expert allows you to ignore the loading quality of firearms, and being with a hostile creature within 5 feet doesn't impose disadvantage on the attack rolls. All 4 of those things that are spread across 2 feats are all contained in the Gunner feat from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. The only thing different is when you take the attack action with a one-handed weapon, you can use a bonus action to attack with a loaded pistol you're holding. That's the only difference between all of these being pretty much encompassed by the one Gunner feat. I did like this spear specialist one though. When you use a javelin, spear, or trident, its damage die changes from a d6 to a d8, or a d8 from a d10 if wielded two-handed. As a bonus action, you can extend the reach of your javelin, and you can make a ranged attack with a javelin, a spear, or trident up to its long range without disadvantage, even underwater. I believe there was a spear specialist feat similar to that in some way in the Unearthed Arcana. A lot of that sounds familiar, but I don't believe it had that last one where you can make the ranged attack at long range without disadvantage, and the qualifier that it also works underwater. And then that is pretty much it, folks. So I mean, this is a fantastic campaign. It is. I feel like I can't call it an adventure. It is a legitimate campaign. It is a campaign comprised of multiple adventures and random encounters that you could take. Just if you had this, sample them and add them into your own campaign. If you like mind flayers and that whole concept, I mean, it really resonates well with me as someone who's been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. I could definitely see correlations in where you could pick and choose bits from both to, either play in a Baldur's Gate 3 themed D&D campaign. You could use a lot of the stuff from this. And there's obviously just a huge labor of love to put this entire thing together. So that being said, similar to what I've had for the entirety of this DM's Guild series, there is one last final coupon code you can leave. You'll see in the description. I'll put it on screen here. It is Call from the Nerds is the coupon code. Call from the Nerds, all one word, or all, no spaces. And that will expire on the 1st of April, and that will get you 10% off a order of $10 or more. If you happen to pick up Call from the Deep, it is $39.95, so you will definitely be able to make use of that 10% coupon. Thank you once again to the DMs Guild for sponsoring this video and all of the videos here on Friday for the month of March. I really enjoyed doing this. It was a nice way to kind of force me to come in and do some more DMs Guild reviews. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I look forward to working with the DMs Guild again in the future for more coverage like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A huge shout out to my patrons over on Patreon for continuing to support me and the channel. And hey, if you're looking to win a copy of Candlekeep Mysteries, there's a giveaway going on. Links in the description for that as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.